What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Rip City Rundown podcast. It is the summer month, so that means, of course, if you're a longtime listener, we are together for the next couple weeks. I mean, a little under 2 weeks, but we'll be whipping out some pods for you guys, just relating Blazer news. And we had a big bomb drop last night in the middle of dinner. We weren't able to turn around and get a podcast up in time, and we actually wanted to kind of let it simmer a little bit to figure out how we feel about it. And it's the fact that Deandre Ayton has been bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers. If you told me that a year and a half ago, I would have said you're crazy. But at this current moment, I'm not sure we think it's that crazy. But we will dive deep into it, kind of Deandre Ayton as a player, Deandre Ayton as a fit on the team, and what we're doing going forward. So take it away, Wes. Where are you at with Ayton?
I just want to. Can we just get a round of applause? He's no longer on the squad.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Man, when I saw the news at first, I was like, "Wow!" So we couldn't trade him. We had to buy him out. His value was that poor.
Well, Wes, what does a buyout mean specifically?
Get
into the nitty-gritty.
The nitty-gritty, if you will. So from my understanding, a buyout is where the player and the team have a mutual agreement to basically forego the rest of their contract in terms of the years and the money and become a free agent. Now, obviously, Ayton will be getting paid. We are buying him out. We are paying him for him to become a free agent. But on Ayton's side, he's foregoing a portion of his $33 million contract because he isn't expiring. So he can become a free agent. So that's kind of how it works. So
essentially, he cut millions of dollars just to not live in Portland.
And we don't know that. I assume it's millions because it's going to be a portion of his contract, but we're still waiting on the number. For all we know, we could only be paying him $10 million, and we're opening up a lot of cap. Which, if that's the case, great. Even if it's just a couple million, I don't think it's the end of the world, especially with the direction the Blazers are obviously going with the Yang draft pick along with Klingon. So
DeAndre Ayton as a whole. When we traded Nurk for him, to be honest, I wasn't a big fan. So at this point, I am happy that he's gone. He's a talented player. He has the tool set, but there were just some, frustrating moments as a fan where you just look at him and say to yourself, the mentals, what's going on here? I heard rumors of him not playing on really stupid, minor injuries, finger injury or some just, BS like that. And that's not the mindset you want for a 5 on a championship squad. So at this point, I'm happy that he's going to be gone, actually.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, Ayton has this mindset of, like you said, he doesn't show a bunch of competitiveness. Even in Phoenix, that was their problem with him. And so I'm kind of you're in a situation where you don't have any pressure to win and you're overpaid. You make more money than you should. So now you want to lose money and go to a winning situation because you want to be a winning player. You haven't shown that. So that's what I'm interested in now. The living in Portland part is fine. Every player wants to be on a winning team. Ayton's probably just the player that doesn't want to do anything on a winning team. He wants to be the A+ on a group project type guy.
I will say it's not quite the elephant in the room, but if you really just look at DeAndre Ayton's life or just career, he went to high school in Phoenix, he went to college at Arizona, and he played in Phoenix at the beginning of his career. So True. He's lived in sunny climate. It never is rainy. It's never cold. It is ideal weather for your life. And just take out the whole weather aspect. He's been in one place his whole life.
Right,
so
he's not going to go back to Phoenix.
I don't think he's going to Phoenix, but I wouldn't be surprised if him going to Portland instead of if he had gone to a place like LA or gone to Miami. It is just different. Now, it's no excuse you're a professional athlete, but it's just worth a mention.
And, it's interesting that, this dynamic of just, I guess, oversensitive, players, athletes, they all typically in the NBA, I feel fall into the 7-foot range because it's just you're built with that such difference from other. There's 3,000 people in the world that are 7 feet tall. Did you know that?
I think I've seen a stat.
So it's just if you're a 7-footer and you grind basketball, the chance of you making the NBA is just, it's really high. And it's just your mentality is just not going to be the same as someone who's 6 foot who really has to earn it. And there's so many just hardworking centers out there in the league, but I don't know, man. Ayton really pissed me off. He did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He did.
Can we just talk? Why do we think we weren't able to find a trade partner for him?
Okay.
I'd love to hear your answers.
Not even.
I think-
And does that scare you for Jeremy?
So, well, I'll start with we're fans and we are not in the inside sources, and we're describing Ayton as this. So I'm curious what the intel of front offices are when they have a guy who maybe isn't the hardest worker. Okay, obviously he works hard because you're not just going to walk to the NBA.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like having that dog mentality, like I'm gonna like kill you every night. I'm gonna show up every night and play. Like I think GMs are aware that he's not that player necessarily. You couple that with you make $33 million, and especially in this new CBA where you're hard capped on like big contracts you can give out. I think every team is aware that if you give out over $30 million to Deandre Ayton, you can't build a championship squad. You can't. So unfortunately, he made too much money, and I think honestly, like I'm fine with buying him out. Like the market was going to be low. And honestly, like, would people have even been happy if we had just traded him for the sake of trading him and Joe would have lost the trade? Because people would have come out of the shadows to yell at Joe for that.
My thing is, we saw a trade yesterday where the Hornets traded Nurk for Colin Sexton in a second, making the same amount of money, both on expiring deals. Ayton's on an expiring deal. I'm surprised, and I'll continue after. I'm surprised that we weren't able to get someone on a similar contract where we are just an expiring contract and maybe we even get a pick out of it. Now, I will say two things. This most likely will open us up to have the mid-level exception. So maybe Joe didn't want to take on any money, and for all we know, he's saving $15 million by doing this because Ayton wanted to maybe leave Portland so bad, plus we wanted to get rid of him so bad. Second off, it just shows you where Deandre Ayton stands around the league also, because it is so rare for you to buy out someone that's averaging 15 and 10. Like, he has the counting stats. Something tells me he might not be liked in the organization. They don't see him fitting with us anymore in the future.
Yeah, but you can still
15
trade
and 10
him.
is like, that's
I
those are
really
stats.
I mean, look.
I think Ayton approached it more. Like I think we would have, if the goal was to like, I don't think it was impossible to trade him. I mean, you can always trade someone. It's just Joe was probably like, I'd rather. There's just more things that made more sense as a buyout. Like I don't think Ayton averaging 15 and 10 and him getting bought out is like, oh my gosh, like he must be such a terrible person. Like I think it's just the factor of him wanting to leave, and now he can be a free agent and choose his destination. He can, he will make less money, but he's out of Portland. We save money. Joe would probably rather have $15 million spent on what he wants than get 2 seconds and a bum. Like,
yeah, I think if you see us make a interesting signing, I'm sure the Blazers now are approaching free agency, which starts as we're recording in 5 hours, where we will probably have some targets, and I'm sure we have a little more money to play with.
Who do the Blazers sign?
I don't even know who is available out there.
I don't know. Well, one more thing.
What position do they sign? Probably a forward.
One more thing about Ayton is just a great thing about this trade. Him being off the squad next season is it opens the runway and makes very clear for our new centers to compete.
Yeah.
Klingon going into his second year, we want him to have a crap ton of more minutes. With Ayton gone, he's probably going to start at this point because you're not going to start. I still don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Hassan Young.
It is Young. It's Young.
It's pronounced
Hansen.
Young.
It's Hansen.
I think it's Hansen Young.
Hansen Young.
Maybe it is Hansen.
But
Hansen
pretty
Young.
much with Ayton gone, it's just like our centers, our young centers.
I want centers to play.
Yeah, they're going to get so many more minutes.
And that goes for Time Lord too.
Yeah, Time Lord.
It's
maybe
beautiful,
it's a signal
guys.
he's healthy. Now, it is kind of crazy how just over the years how Ayton's kind of reputation around the league might have gone down.
Anchoring a
you could
finals
argue
team.
After that finals, he's anchoring a team that made it to the finals. He is probably the third
Play with Chris
most
Paul, though.
valuable player on that team, and you could argue he is entering himself into possibly a top 5 center conversation. And just 3 years later, you're arguing that he is fighting to be a top 5 center on the Blazers roster.
No, you're not.
I mean, clearly they have Yang, Time Lord,
That's crazy.
Klingon. They probably would rather play Denny at the 5, and they'd probably rather play Scoot at the 5.
That's disrespectful. But what we can do is let's see.
What's that Instagram post you saw yesterday about
Ayton? Oh, so I saw some comments from people, just fans, I guess, which, whatever. They said they're like, how are the Blazers buying out a top 5 center in the NBA? Which made Cody and I, yesterday, we were like, let's, on the pod.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, on the pod. Let's do an exercise where we see how many centers are better than Ayton. So we're going to start, all right?
All right.
You take Gobert, Ayton.
Gobert?
You take Chet.
Chet.
He's a 4. He's a 5.
And
too.
Hartenstein.
And
are they both
Hartenstein.
fives?
Hardenstein.
You take Jokic.
Jokic.
You take Walker Kessler.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you take Sabonis?
Yep.
Do you take anyone on the Warriors? No, I'm sorry, Quentin Post. Can't take you. Do you take anyone on the Lakers? No, but you take Zubats.
Yep.
I'll take Zubats.
You take...
I'll take AD.
You take Mark Williams. That's an
I
interesting one.
wouldn't. He's too hurt.
Okay.
I'll take AD. I'll take Gaffer. I'll take
AD,
Lively.
Gafford, and Lively.
We'll give 2 out of the 3 because they can't all play. So.
All right, we'll take 2 of them. We'll take Wembanyama, shocker. We'll take Sengun. That's 11.
Mitchell Robinson.
Hold
Well,
on.
let's say division
I'm
here.
saying division here.
Okay.
Would you take anyone on the Grizzlies? If you take Edie, I probably wouldn't yet.
Probably not
It's
yet.
11.
No.
I'm not going to take Missy either yet.
Queen, you can't sell yet.
No, he's not a 5.
Where are we at right now, though?
That's 11 in the Western Conference.
That's interesting.
So we go to the Eastern
And
Conference.
that's not even, and like, I'm not taking Klingon right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if Klingon's better this year.
Yeah. Okay, we're taking Bam.
Yep.
We're taking Wendell Carter Jr. or Aiden.
We'll hold.
Okay. Are we taking Capella or Kongwu? Probably not.
Nah, Capella's not going to be taking
Anyone on
Maybe
the-
Okongwu, though.
Anyone on the Hornets? I'm not.
I'm not taking Cockburner.
No. Anyone on the Wizards? Probably
I
not.
don't believe so.
Okay. Only one right now. Aiden would cook in the East, right? We're taking Jared Allen.
Yep.
We're taking Miles Turner.
Yep.
We're taking Jalen Dern.
Yep.
Are we taking Vucevic?
Yep.
Yep.
And are we taking
I don't know if I can give him Brooke.
Brooke
Brooke
and
was
him?
bad.
Brooke is old now.
It's tight, though. It's like in the Wendell Carter.
Are you taking
Okongwu's
Jakob
tier.
Pertl?
Probably.
I think I'll give it to him because one of the ones where we're like maybe not.
So we're giving
One of them,
Jakob
so we'll
Pertl.
give Pertl, sure.
That's 16. Or that's 6.
I'll
in
take
the
Cat.
East. We're taking Cat.
Yeah.
We're taking Claxton.
Yeah.
Are you taking anyone on the Celtics? Probably not. I'm not taking.
Oh, I'm probably
LeBron.
taking Zingas. We missed
He's
him
on
on
the
the
Hawks
Hawks.
now. But
Sure, we'll take Zingas.
Sure.
And we'll take Joel Embiid.
The argument is it's probably not top 20.
Yeah, well, that's 10 in the East and 11 in the West. So that's 21 centers that we'd probably take over DeAndre Ayton at this
And
point.
I would say that's not it's a bias. That's a pretty unbiased.
Well, we are
opinion.
Blazer fans.
Yeah.
Anyway, something interesting that I just found it funny. Top 5 center in the league.
that was funny.
So anyway, 21, just 22nd at best. I mean, people we didn't even like. Is like Malawak better than Ayton?
I mean, maybe. Okay, this is an argument me and West have all the time. Is DeAndre Ayton considered a bust? Not a massive bust. He's not going to be on the all-time bust list, but he was the first overall pick in 2018. Never been an all-star. Has probably had, I'd say, just one good year. I mean, he's only made the playoffs
All right.
one time in
Twice
in his career.
I don't think he's a bust. Is he going first in the redraft?
No.
Absolutely
Is he
not.
going
Well,
top
I think
10
you
in the
told-
redraft?
Cole,
I don't
you-
know the draft.
Probably.
You told me one time DeAndre Ayton was a bigger bust than Ben Simmons. Do you stand by that?
I think I would stand by it because at least Ben Simmons gave you 4 elite All-Star years.
But he
all
gave you
defense
only
years.
4. Like
Aiden's,
Aiden's,
what has do you count these past 2 years with the Blazers as quality years at all?
I mean, I don't know. You were the one that was like, it's crazy he's getting bought out with his stats.
I know it is. That just shows how
Good stats.
invaluable he is.
Again, we talked about the reasons for a buyout. So, I mean, invaluable, not invaluable. What are you gonna look up?
I just want to look up Aiton's just career stats over his years.
While Cole does that, that'll
Well,
be the
with
last
this-
thing we'll say about Ayton. I want to move on from it.
Yeah. Oh, we can transition to just what's the team gonna look like next season?
No, we know what it's gonna look
The
like.
pieces are coming together. Who do you think the starting 5 will be? And give me like the 4 most popular minutes off the bench.
Okay,
What are you thinking?
I think it'll be Drew.
Starting, so Scoot's
I
on the
think
bench.
I'll be Scoot and Drew maybe.
One
I don't know.
Sharp.
I think Scoot's on the bench and Shaden starts.
Okay, sure. Drew, Shaden, 2, Denny, Klingon. And the bench right now is going to be the guard who doesn't start. It'll be
So probably
Jeremy.
Scoot.
It'll be you have Jeremy, but
We can get into that.
yeah, we'll get into Jeremy. It's going to be
Hudson.
Robert Williams if he's healthy.
You said Hudson starting?
No, it's a Klingon starting.
Okay, so he's
Bro,
on the bench.
Dude,
Hansen might
has
not
played
play
in
at
the
all.
Chinese Basketball
No,
Association.
I know. I'm just saying.
Rob Will's coming off the bench.
That's what I said.
Oh, you did.
Robert Williams and Scoot. And then we're also going to bring
Chris Murray.
Chris Murray.
Delano.
I guess Jeremy if
Boy
he's
off the
here.
team.
And, yeah, that boy's off the team.
You think Delano's off the team? Bold prediction.
Not bold. I think he's literally off the team right now.
He's off the team right now.
I don't think he has a contract as of now. I think he's a free agent.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Anyway, we have $14-15 million to sign someone who will be in the rotation.
Which I believe. I don't want to confirm that, but
I saw that,
I
though,
believe
MLE.
the MLE will be available, which when we traded for Drew, that went away. And that was a small sticking point of why people didn't want to bring on that much money for an Anthony Simons trade. But with us most likely opening up some money.
I agree with the buyout. I think it's better than a trade.
Really?
I think...
Because you're going to have to match salary. Are you gonna want what we get in return for Ayton? I wouldn't.
Probably not.
I'd rather have the
probably
money.
It's a lost cause.
I guess so.
He's a sunk cost.
I think
And
if you
obviously
could have
Jeremy is
found a deal where it's like you're picking up...
Well done, Joe.
Like, I
Count
think...
on them so long, they have no value.
Like, just looking at the Hornets one, I just think, like...
Sexton
the Hornets,
has no value, though.
yeah, I know, but like you bring someone like a Sexton, that's just like a good vet to have. That's a quality vet. That is a good, especially on a 1-year contract. And then they also got a 2nd-round pick in that. So, I don't know.
And I'm sure the Jazz will just buy out Nurk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably.
how
So
Nurk-
that's the same thing at the end.
Let's
of the
just
day.
remember Deandre Ayton's nicknames are Tiger. Not sure what that is. Dominator and Dominating. So. I mean, going back to the bus thing, I mean, he peaked at 18 points per game. Like, he's had a couple good years in his career, but I mean, to be bought out at age 26 or something, 25, like he has his only thing he's gotten in his career is all rookie team. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you just look back at the past,
I mean, I'm
blank
sorry, but,
number
like,
one picks,
Ben
like
Simmons literally could not shoot a basketball.
Yeah. Well, at least no. Never mind.
Could not shoot a basketball.
Ayton
Ayton
I
did
think
go to
it-
the finals.
Yeah.
And I know of
I
to
think-
help the argument will be like he didn't do anything. But
He's talented. I'd say Ben Simmons is a bigger bust, to be honest.
That's
But,
a fair take.
Look,
It's meant to be hot.
the fact that it's even like a conversation.
we are
is
going to be
tough.
such a good defensive team next year. I mean,
We are.
it's crazy how we went from, during the Dame era, one of the best offensive teams with one of the worst defensive ratings, 28th in the league, 29th, I think 30th in 2021 or 2. And now we're going to go to, gosh,
Hey, you know
man,
what's interesting?
possibly
You
top
know-
10D.
You know what's interesting?
What?
We went 36-46 last year, but we
Yeah.
finished the year at 20. The second half of the year, we were 23-18, which if that is the yearly pace, we flip our record to 46-36. So we closed the year 23-18 with the third-ranked defense in the league. We add Drew Holiday. You
Oh.
get rid of Ayton. As much as we want to clown Ayton, like compared to Klingon, he probably is actually close. I don't know. Klingon might actually be better than Ayton. But
I mean, I think Ayton was out
I
for
guess
a lot
my
of that
question
run.
is: do the Blazers win 40 games this year?
I think
Which is sad.
when
because that's a
Vegas
little
drops
far.
the over-under, I think the over-under is going to sit somewhere in the 36 to 40 range. Just because Western Conference is so good, someone's got to have not a lot of wins. But I think the
Pelicans.
Blazers, like, you are going in with the expectation that you will be the 10 seed, I think.
Well, that was signaled by trading for Drew. I mean,
Yeah.
you have that defense to close the year. You add probably one of the best perimeter guards in the league.
And we've heard rumblings that even I know everyone's saying, like, Drew could be flipped. I think
No,
that's not
he's
happening.
staying. He'll
It's not
stay.
happening,
Yeah,
and we can
so-
pretty much confirm that.
We have some, can't disclose, but some inside-ish sources. Pretty much Drew will be in a Blazer uniform, we think, and playing this year. Of course, there's a chance he gets flipped, but we're pretty confident that he will be in a Blazer uniform this fall and be playing all season long.
Which
So-
I think signals we're not done with the rebuild, but we're officially for the first year going in with expectations that
No,
we're not gonna attempt to lose.
Well, I think that's the next step of the rebuild is like now you have rebuilt and you drafted guys like Scoot and Shade. The next part of the rebuild is like you need to see if these guys can be those guys.
I think you look at the two recent teams that have had successful rebuilds in the Western Conference. You look at OKC; they went from like
But they
second worst.
literally had Shea
Yeah.
when they
No,
sucked.
I know second worst.
Like Scoot can be good.
Exactly.
He won't be
They
Shea,
were the
but
second worst team in the NBA in 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Then 2 years ago, they were the 10 seed at 40 and 42. Then they made a jump to the 1 seed, and they lost in the second round. Then they won the finals. You look at the Rockets. They were one of the worst teams in the NBA. Then they didn't make the play-in, but they were fighting for a play-in spot, and they were the 11 seed. And then they made a jump to the 2 seed. If the Blazers are at least in the conversation for a play-in and fighting for it, I think that's and obviously showing signs of growth. That's what you're looking for.
Can I add a key piece to this though? The Thunder, like their first year, so they were terrible in 21.
Their first bad year, they had 2 bad years, 21 and then 22.
They were bad in 22.
They had two. I'm pretty positive they had two bad years because they got the Giddy pick and they got the Chet pick, which were both top 6.
Okay. And
their last good year was 1920 in the bubble. Then they went with Chris Paul. Then 2021 they were really bad. 21-22 they were really bad. Their first good year was 22-23.
Well, all I'm saying is with
mid-year.
With the Rockets and the Thunder, like I guess the Rockets were the same way, but they both got like when they were on the upswing, they got Chet, and then the Rockets were on the upswing and they got Thompson. Yeah. And it's like honestly we talked about this, for the Blazers to like really push the chips in and become like the team is the next few years we're going to build, and then in 27 we're hopefully like becoming a playoff team, and now we have all these picks coming up, so like we're a playoff team and we're picking potentially top 5 because Giannis has left the Bucks, or the Magic, something catastrophic happens and everyone leaves Orlando, and something like that, or we trade the picks for the star. But I honestly think, like, looking at the Thunder, the best way in the new like CBA with contracts to build like sustainable success is you have to have contributors on rookie deals.
Yep.
Because the Thunder drafted Sorber, who's going to be the Hartenstein replacement. Hartenstein makes $30 million. They'll let him walk. That's $30 extra million, and Sorber will help on a rookie scale contract. Jalen Williams on a rookie contract. Like, it's crazy. So
I got a question for you guys. In terms of within the rebuild, we've obviously this is a funny thing to say. Our most fun nights are draft night, and then probably Summer League is a pretty fun time for a Blazer fan. Where does your excitement for this year's Summer League rank in terms of other ones? Because obviously Klingon will be back for a second year most likely.
Klingon's not playing Summer League.
He's not playing Summer League.
He's playing Summer League.
Interesting. Well, that just shows that he's going to be the starter, but we will confirm that here. Yang's going to be in Summer League. Caleb Love's in a 2-way. I'm sure there would be a couple other players, but the real person is Yang most likely. Where does it rank in terms of excitement to see Sharp, who obviously only played like 9 minutes in Summer League, and then obviously Scoot this past year?
Scoot did play Summer League.
It's exciting. I want to see what Yang can do. Obviously.
Wait, did Scoot play this past year? I meant rookie year Scoot.
No,
but
yeah, rookie year. People are calling him. Oh, I was thinking about the funny joke nickname. Help me out. Chinese Jokic. Yes, that's what they're calling him.
What are the funny ones?
No, we're not gonna go there.
Why not?
I've seen some highlights on the tube, right? Some YouTube highlights. Obviously, the Chinese league is not as competitive, so it'll be interesting to see what he does in Summer League. I think Summer League is definitely closer to NBA level than Chinese level, but Summer League is definitely a good step from Chinese to tough in night out regular season NBA games. But I don't know, man. So just a 7'2" guy that can shoot is just so pretty. I mean, that's just what you want. Because when you're that tall, the chance of you being a great shooter, it's really low. So for him to
solid shooter.
Well, I think people have called him. They're calling him Chinese Jokic because
he playmakes too.
He playmakes. He has some like mannerisms, I guess, to Jokic, like some spin moves, some passes out of the post where he like will pass it over his head. Again, like the passing lanes in the Chinese Basketball Association are probably 10 times as wide as the NBA. Like the athletes, it's not even close. And I think he projects to be like he has good touch. I think he can become a good shooter. I'm not sure if he's going to walk in and shoot threes.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see him this year not play much for the Blazers, get a lot of remix time if we see Klingon take a big step, and then if Robert Williams is still on our roster, like they're your centers right there. It's you just gotta trust the pick. Of course,
Summer League rosters come out. To be honest,
so maybe you would rather when you're making the trade for Drew, you probably would rather looking nearsighted have a pick that's gonna contribute this year more, but I just wouldn't expect Yang to play much this year unless he comes out in Summer League and lights the world on fire and we truly have someone that we're really working with this year. But I want to set those expectations on.
But I will say, I feel like when Dallas went to the finals, they had the rotating 7-footers, and I think a lot of people in the league kind of saw that as like if you have size and you have players that can protect the rim and you can build your defense from the inside out. And you can you're not bringing on an undersized guy. And I understand there are cases like Rudy Gobert where he struggles to stay with it in the playoffs. Now I guess for the Mavericks it worked out because they just.
I think you have that right now. I think Robert Williams is a much like Yang. We didn't draft Yang for his defense. I haven't read one write-up where
Right,
it's like
but I'm
raving about his defense.
But he's 7'2". So like at the end of the day, it's pretty hard to be bad at interior defense when you're 7'2". Now, will he project to be someone who can hold his own out on an island? Probably not. I would
He
assume.
looks kind of skinny. He is, right?
He's
I mean, he's 7'2".
I don't know.
He's got thick legs. Like he's 7'2", man.
Oh, I mean, Chet's also 7'2".
he ain't
He's
Chet.
skinny.
He ain't
Chet ain't
Chet.
7'2".
Good. I just want to confirm. I mean, I've
He
seen
ain't Wimby.
pictures, but
He's closer to Nurk than he is to
He's not
Chet.
Nurk.
all right. Look, pull up his weight. I doubt it's over 1 or 2. 50.
I think
mean,
he's, I think
7'2".
he's
I bet he's-
265.
I bet he's-
If he's over 250,
He looks like Edie, in my opinion.
if he's over 250, I'll be very happy.
He's over or under?
Over.
You want him to be over?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would-
think he's
I
like
would assume he
265.
is
We're in Montana.
265.
The internet sucks.
Okay. 265. That's
I
good.
wonder what he measured into the combine. He's 249.
249. Okay, so he's maybe on the
7'1", 249.
That's a yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, Nurk was 7 feet at 290. I mean,
Zion 6'6", 285.
Zion.
New Orleans, man, the food. That's why I was a little worried for Queen.
You guys see what happened at Ben McLemore?
Did you happen to Malik Beasley?
Yeah, Malik Beasley this morning. Wow, that was crazy.
That was like yesterday.
I saw some clips of him like sweating at the end of games.
Yeah, trying to cover the spread.
Yeah.
It is kind of
Okay, what do we think? What do you guys think we do with Jeremy?
oh,
like,
I will say
Is he on the team?
This kind of it scares me a little bit. I don't even think you can
honestly,
physically
dude,
buy out Jeremy since he's not in the last year of his contract.
But I also think what Cody said, like who's our starting 5 and our 4 rotation guys. I was struggling to name bench guys. So like, if Joe's like, if his mindset's I want to be competitive.
yeah,
Like I get you're overpaying and like the tiers of who you're paying is backwards, but we're also not trying to have a clean book for the next 8 years so we can be a championship team right now. Like if we're paying Jeremy, we're paying Jeremy, but bring Jeremy off the bench, man.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Jeremy's value is probably at the lowest it's ever been.
Thank you,
I
Joe.
don't think it can go lower. He had a very poor season last year.
Jeremy.
I think if he comes off the bench, shows good shooting splits, it's a possible deadline flip just because he's played playoff basketball before. But I mean, I think he shot like 30-something% from the field.
I think what would make me really upset this season is if Jeremy took the most shots. Obviously,
I think there's no shot.
Okay,
I think there's a
question
chance he
here
could, because
I want you guys to listen to this.
what?
It's a tweet.
Okay.
I don't know how accurate it is. I'm not going to say who it's by either, but they're verified. Take it for
Well, that doesn't mean anything on Twitter.
okay. Can I go?
Yeah.
Take it for what it's worth, but I've heard from multiple sources that the Ayton buyout is an under-the-table deal between the Blazers and Lakers. Blazers let Ayton go and will sign with the Lakers, and then the Lakers will trade Rui for Jeremy. Lakers essentially get 2 players for the price of 1, and the Blazers get rid of both Ayton and Grant. Ayton and Grant have the same agent.
I would love a Rui.
That's a better option.
Compared to Jeremy, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want Rui, but compared to Jeremy, yeah.
Rui's a good shooter, man.
Rui's not.
Yeah.
He makes
Oh,
some
also I didn't say Thibault in the rotation.
Oh, Thibault will be.
Thibault, yes.
Thibault.
Yeah, because
with
right now
guards.
they're saying this guy was like Scoot Shaden 2, Denny Klingon, and then off the bench, Drew Tease, Jeremy, Time Lord Yang. I don't know if we're bringing.
I don't think
Jeremy off the
Scoot's
bench.
going to start.
I don't think
with
Drew came here to be on the bench.
Yeah, Drew's going to start. He
Drew's
just
absolutely
goes-
starting. You think Chauncey Billups gets his hands on a guy
Yeah,
like
see,
that and isn't going to start him?
Jordan Clarkson is getting bought out by the Jazz, but he's probably better than Ayton, and no one's clowning them.
If you
I
think
guess.
we're paying all this money for Drew,
Like a buyout's not that bad.
All right, so back to what I was saying. I just don't want Grant taking a lot of shots because I feel like a lot of people on our team, they're not
Who do you rather take shots, Jeremy or Chris Murray, Cody? Rapid fire.
Jeremy.
That's all I wanted to ask.
Okay, but I don't know. Scoot, can he create his own shot? He can do some ISOs, but he's not the best mid-ranger. I guess Shaden Sharp's our best, and Jeremy Grant are our best ISO players at this point. Denny's more of a, transition guy on the run the floor. Can he ISO? He can, but he's no Simons. Like, Simons was our ISO guy. Now that he's gone, it's just like...
Dude, I'd honestly
I don't know how
can
that's
we
gonna
target
go.
some young free
We need some
agent
bucket getters, man.
like I don't care, bro. Like here's the thing with Joe, and I appreciate it. I said it the other day. Like one strategy to building a good team is just make your strength even stronger. So we project to be a very good defensive team. Why not get more defense? It makes it even better, and then you're the best in the league at said thing, which is a high floor to have. But at this point, man, like I'll take a guy who plays no defense and gets buckets. Like we can hide him.
Yeah.
Like, sign someone that can shoot at least, like off ball. Okay. Wow. DA. Excuse me, guys. Anywho.
I think in the free agency pool, I think you're not necessarily looking for creators. You're looking for guys that either can just get buckets on the ISO, or you're really looking more for spot up shooting off the bench. Like if you brought in I saw Duncan Robinson might get bought out. I'd take a Duncan Robinson off the bench. He can come in and knock threes. Like we don't have that guy right now, unfortunately. Which that's okay, but it's going to catch up to you after a while. You can't win every game 90 to 85.
I'm trying to put myself, I feel like what Cronin is thinking, or a logical thing, is it's much easier to find guys with offensive bags than defensive bags.
That's true.
So let's stock up on defensive guys, and then we can
for all we know, Caleb Love can come off the bench for us and knock down 4 threes.
That's exactly.
Realistically.
That's what I'm saying.
Microwave scorers can grow on trees. We can get them in a snap of a
We
finger.
talked about that with Simons.
For a cheap price, too. So it's defensive players are rare, and the fact that we're building them and stocking them up, it's good stuff, man.
Signed Quentin Grimes in the offseason. He's a free agent.
It's good stuff.
Literally,
he's asking for 25
He
mil,
won't go for 14 because he dropped 50 once.
He's asking for 25. But is there anything else we really need to cover?
All I'll say is free agency is tonight. Starts tonight.
It's tonight at
According to
6
Shams, there are going to be some
Do
big
you guys
deals
think any
that go
other
down.
major Blazer news will happen? I mean, two massive things happen.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I will say.
All right, right now, does
thought
Jeremy get traded before the season starts?
Does Jeremy?
I can't say no because I thought normally Cronin makes all his moves pre-draft, but to make a move here, that just shows this is the busiest offseason of the Cronin era outside of the Dame trade.
Rui for Jeremy straight up would be.
That'd be interesting. I wonder what Rui's making, what his
Rui's
contract is. That I wouldn't be surprised.
Who gives?
He's not making $30+ million. I can tell you that. But I guess that makes sense them able to do that because they'll be able to sign Ayton for under $10 million probably.
The Lakers need him.
But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Ayton doesn't go to the Lakers because just when things happen like this and centers are on the market, everyone's just like
but
Lakers.
You also saw when Ayton has a proper point guard he can pass, how good he can be with Chris Paul, and Luka will make any center look good.
That's true.
Now Luka and Ayton, those
Tell
are.
me Scoot's not a proper point guard?
Not yet. Allegedly, Luka struggles with conditioning and doesn't care about basketball, and allegedly Ayton does too. So we'll see if that pick and roll cares.
But LeBron,
Rui's on a 3-year, $51 million deal.
It's a good deal.
Average annual salary of $17 million. Signed it in July of 23, so I believe he's coming into his final year. The deal at $17 million
cool if we
a year.
picked up a Rui. I
Rui can
what I
spot
thought
up
you were
shoot.
going to say, I thought it was going to be we are able to sign a Dorian Finney-Smith in a sign-in trade, which also would be cool because I know he's making around 15.
We just need guys who can.
We need guys.
I'm happy we're kind of talking about a roster in the sense of what we need to win. We're not just let's get
we're not just let's get the young guy, the youngest guy possible.
I'll take Rui.
Let's focus on the draft next season. No, we're just talking about stocking up players.
Well, I mean, I think
getting the best record we can get.
I think we'll be lottery at the end of the day.
I don't think we'll be lottery.
I think
really?
odds on
Really
will be
close.
no. You realize if we make the plan and lose in the plan, we're still in the lottery.
Oh, I'm aware.
So you really think we'll be playing in a playoff series next year?
I do.
Okay, that's fine.
I love that.
I love that.
Hey,
I love that
and
too.
you know what? That's a better hot take than when we said the Blazers would have 4 All-Stars that one year.
As long as no one gets hurt,
I'll say
Denny is
Blazers
going
are
to
a
carry
9-10.
this team to the offs.
I say Blazers.
Denny's our best
Blazers 9-10. They win the 9-10 game, lose next game. That would be my prediction right
To
now.
who?
To I don't know.
Golden State or something?
Grizzlies or something.
Grizzlies.
Or the.
All right, so, okay, how about this?
Just who are the teams
Last
that are going to
thing,
be behind
I was going to
us?
say, last thing. Who are teams that are on par or worse than the Blazers?
Jazz.
So, the Jazz, the Pelicans.
I don't think
The-
those two are
I'd-
on par. I think they're both worse.
Well, we're saying
on par
par
or
or
worse.
okay.
So, Jazz are worse, Pelicans are worse.
The
I'd say
Kings.
the Kings and the Suns.
That's 4 right there. You need one more to get in the plan.
Okay. Oof.
That's
one
where
of the top teams will fall
you
to
would think.
injuries.
Like
or something.
Warriors or Grizzlies?
I could see the Grizzlies or Warriors being bad. I could see one Jokic injury, and the Nuggets are not going to be good. They don't have depth.
Well, okay. I don't want to bank on an injury.
We're not,
Well, I'm
but I
saying-
think that's what will happen. One team, like the Suns, were projected top 3 seed going into last year, and they obviously just
Happens
fell apart.
every year. One great team underperforms, and they're at the bottom. So one of those will happen. And
I
they're
don't think the Mavs are just guaranteed to be good when they have no guard play right now.
Dude,
And AD is
it's going to be
probably
like
going to get
OKC and then who?
Kyrie.
I think
Minnesota?
OKC is for sure going to be good. I really think the Rockets are going to for sure be good because they have depth and they've just got, even if KD goes down, that team is still a good team without KD.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota will most likely be a
They're going to
good
lose
team.
Alexander
I do
Walker,
think
though.
the Lakers are going to be a good team because Luka just wins basketball games,
Okay.
and as long as one of them
Four.
are playing.
Lakers,
I think the Clippers are one of those teams that could fall off just with
And then
age.
the Nuggets are like in this top 6 probably if Jokic plays.
Say the Nuggets
And then it's Mavs.
look,
Then
look,
Mavs.
I
That's
love
17
I
that are
love the
definitely
Spurs. I
better than
love
the
the
Blazers.
Spurs, but it would
Spurs.
not shock me if the Blazers are better than them next year. It wouldn't shock me. I
It would
think the
shock
worst Spurs would be better,
That's
but
interesting. Blazers are better than a player who has a top 10 player.
I mean, look at Houston. Did anyone expect them to get the 2 Knicks
No.
last season? Not saying we're going to get the
look,
2.
I understand that we don't have a Sengun, but Sengun isn't a superstar, and neither was Thompson, neither was Jalen Green, and the Rockets were able to win games.
Yeah, clears.
Like, would it shock you if the Blazers had a player that is putting up Sengun-like
I mean,
numbers?
would it
The only
shock
reason
you
Sengun
if
was
the
an
Blazers
all-star-
get home court?
Yes, it would. But it would not shock. It would not shock me if the Blazers,
Blazers
were
are legit boys.
solid. I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up.
It's just like, what does going 40 and 42 get you? Like, that's a plan.
Yeah,
I
that's-
would think so. And then also, it's
That's
just
the plan.
steps. There's no such thing as if the I swear if the Blazers next year are within 4 games with 10 to go of the plan and they decide to tank, I will not be happy. I won't be happy.
Yeah, but the draft's stacked this
Yeah,
year.
the draft was stacked this year, and we walked out with Yang. And I love Yang,
Exactly.
but
Well, guess what? If we make the play in and lose, we'll just be the Mavericks and get the first overall pick, basically.
hopefully.
Because that's
So
how it works,
stupid.
apparently.
Yeah, literally, who's the last team to have the
Did
worst
they make the
record?
play in?
The Mavs.
Yeah, they lost the second playing game to
Unbelievable.
the Grizzlies.
Just think losing that
Yeah,
play-in
and
game-
Nico Harrison goes the bold.
Fortune favors
the
the
fortune
bold.
favors the bold. Well, did you really think that you were trying to lose when you traded Luka Doncic? No, you said you were still trying to win, and then AD got hurt, and then because AD got hurt, Kyrie was taking a lot of shots, and he got hurt.
Just think, if they won that play-in game, they would have never gotten Cooper. That play-in loss
And
set them up for the next 15 years.
And of course,
That is
the Blazers
ridiculous.
were like a number off for the 30 year.
If the Blazers won, I think 2 more games, then they would have been where the Mavericks were. I'm not saying that's the lottery would have gone the same, but
that's kind of similar to
maybe
like,
if the Blazers didn't purposely try to tank.
kind
at
of
the
similar
end.
to the RBR Olympics. You try to reverse engineer stats. So, yeah, it doesn't really work like that.
I mean,
All
I don't
right.
think the numbers would have been different.
All right, so Summer League is coming up. We'll probably do a pod on that, especially if Yang goes triple-double in his first Summer League game. If the Blazers sign anyone or any news of the Blazers tonight with free agency, if a Jeremy thing comes out, honestly, if we sign anyone that's like worth mentioning, we might do a quick pod. Anything
I
else?
love free agency. It's very fun.
Yeah, it's great for the Blazers when we overpay Allen Crabbe and Evan Turner.
But that's all we got, guys. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and follow the Instagram. Follow RCR Trivia. Of course, we're posting trivia videos every single day, sometimes 2 a day. So be on the lookout for that. We guys will see you next time. Peace.